everybody, this is Nancy from Paper Moon Tarot, and I am doing a VR to, I need to read this so I get it right, Gem Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation for the hashtag Gratitude Challenge 2021. I was thinking about doing this because a lot of people have been doing it and they've been making some great content about it. And so I was thinking before I even drew a tarot card about what I'm grateful for. And I am grateful for many things in this very difficult past year that I could go into, but somehow it didn't feel like I wanted to talk about how grateful I am for my cat, or grateful for a hot cup of coffee in the morning, or for peace and quiet, or personal things, I guess is what I'm saying. It just didn't resonate with me because of the times we're in, and because of what happened in my country, the US, last week in Washington, D.C. And so I just thought I would take a different approach to this, and hopefully Jen's okay with that. I want to cover the 7 days of gratitude in this one video. And what I decided to do was, instead of drawing 7 cards, I picked 7 cards. I picked 7 cards that represent what I'm grateful for and what I want to see more of, I guess, what I would be grateful to see grow in this world. And I used the Witch's Wisdom deck, which I just got, and it's got very pretty, peaceful cards, and I thought that went with what I wanted to say here today. So I'm just going to go through these cards and tell you what they mean for me in terms of what our global gratitude and perhaps intention might be. So I'm going to start with a pretty obvious one, love, which is the lovers in the RWS Tarot. Very sweet image, a woman with an animal being affectionate towards each other. I don't know if they're about to kiss, whatever. Obviously, I'm grateful for love. I'm grateful that it's something in our DNA, that we all feel love, that we have an impulse to love. I'm sad that the impulse to hate has grown in a lot of ways. And so we need to hang on to this one. We need to be grateful for it wherever we find it, whenever we feel it, whenever we see it in the world. We gotta keep our gratitude for this one. The next one I chose in this deck is the Maze. And the Maze is traditionally the Tower card. You can see the lightning striking here, but somebody entering a kind of complicated, convoluted path. I've always thought of the Tower card, although it is sort of sudden disruption, I've thought of it as a sudden knowledge, a sudden unveiling of something to you. You realize something you never realized before, and it disrupts your life. It changes your life to address that, to say, wow, okay, I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that. I think that and the Tower card are very, very useful in our lives as a planet and as individuals. And so I am grateful for Tower moments when they teach us something, when they help us grow, when they point out issues that we never saw clearly. I'm thinking of this past year in 2020 globally. There was more awareness and I think a lot of aha moments for people about racism. And I'm grateful for that, and I hope it goes somewhere. I hope it takes us all to a next level, and that the discomfort we feel about things we realize we may not have done right takes us to the next step. So I am grateful for the tower, believe it or not, although it's evidenced itself in other ways this year with the pandemic. But again, I hope that it has taught us to care about each other more. So that's my second day, all in a few minutes. I'm taking the easy way out here. The third one is in this deck called Rebirth, and it is, of course, the Death card in RWS. This is a lovely depiction of the focus on rebirth, but I think it's okay to me to also say death. Things die, things go away, and new things come out of them. And again, in terms of gratitude, I'm glad that old things die away. I'm glad that we move on to new things. I hope in doing that we can hold on to the old things that are worthwhile and a respect for them and so on. But I just, I think death is an important thing to be grateful for this year. Not the deaths of individuals, but the death of certain securities we had about nature, about climate, about the world, because I think, again, it will hopefully teach us something. And hopefully we'll do something about these things and let go of the old ways that don't serve us anymore. So that is my third day of gratitude. All right, the next one, again, a beautiful card, and it's called Balance in this deck, and it would equate to justice in the RWS system. I like that there's a woman here, and she's with nature, with different kinds of creatures in a woods, because justice right now, what I'm grateful for is the people who are working for justice, for the planet, for our climate, for our fellow species, and for our own species. Justice is important. We need to hold people accountable. We need to try to strive to work with other people. And laws are part of that, how we agree that we're going to treat each other, and how we respect that, and how we respect each other. So again, I think justice is something for us to strive for, but us to also be grateful for when it is truly just and not vindictive. So that's the Balanced Justice card. The next one is the Wheel of Life in this deck, the Wheel of Fortune in the RWS. I really like this card. I think it's a very beautiful rendition of the Wheel of Fortune. It's got the seasons, it's got, different creatures, different elements of nature, in different colors that flow through the seasons. So I like its representation. I think I'm grateful that we can all figure out that things that go down will come up again. Difficult times will turn into better times. And we really need that right now. So I think that there's a lot of gratitude to be had for the cyclical nature of life, for the fact that we get through the tough times and move on to the better times, and they make us, the tough times just make us grateful for the good times. So it's a big part of the whole cycle of gratitude, and maybe one of the core cards for that cycle. The next one, the 6th day of gratitude in my rapid journey through 7 days of gratitude, is the Star. And the Star is, of course, hope, but I also think of the Star as a kind of compass, direction, perhaps a moral compass to some degree, but maybe just a compass telling us, where do we go next? Where do we head? How do we head there with hope in our hearts? How do we move forward in our lives? You know, this is coming off the Tower card. It's like coming off of that, we need to move forward. We need to use whatever knowledge we got from that change to make life better. And this is certainly a card that we need in the world right now. So hope, direction, a compass inside ourselves to direct ourselves in what we do and how we live our lives. I'm grateful for that energy. And finally, this one, I just picked this one first. It was obvious to me, and I wanted to end with it. It's healing, which is temperance. I chose it partially because in this deck it's called healing, and I think we all need to heal. Beautiful image looking up from as if you're lying on the ground looking up at the sky, and there are people around you holding hands and united, and that's really, really great. But in terms of temperance itself, I think we have to have a balance, we have to have moderation, we have to come together in the middle sometimes and not be divided and divisive. There is certainly room for people to be passionate on various ends of the spectrum, peacefully passionate and fighting for their causes. That's important. But there is also clearly a time for people to move together, to be temperate, to be moderate, to not overdo, not fly off the handle, not go crazy about things, but walk that center, careful, kind path that the world needs to walk right now. So I'm grateful for temperance when it comes our way in a very positive way, and that's one of the things I'm hopeful for in the coming year. So that's my different take on the 7 days of gratitude. A little more global than personal, and again, I picked these cards, I didn't draw them. I felt the need for intention for this. So thank you, Jen, for this challenge. Thank you to everybody who I've watched, who has replied to the challenge and had wonderful content and wonderful things to be grateful for. And I wish us all a really good new year. Take care.